All right, we're back with just some of the transfer dealings. I decided to lump them all into one episode, as you see. So we got Atletico to agree for our $7 million deal. I think for Cherokee to bring him back. So right now we're just trying to hammer out the contract negotiation. So we offered him 2 years, 11 million. We also threw in an inquiry for Olivier Torres and they came back for 45 million for the young Spanish international, highly rated. As you can see, Poli has hyperextended his knee I think in the last Champions Cup game, but we've got a lot of money and we just started throwing out just inquiries left and right. Lukaku, Samir Nasri, Sandro, Antonio Barreca, who's kind of a fill-in at left back, hopefully for Luca Antonelli. Daniele Baselli, a guy from Torino. So, we're trying to keep a decent base of young young homegrown Italian players. It's kind of hard. I mean, a lot of the stars have really left Serie A and Italy. They have some pretty good young talent. A lot of their guys who are some of the bigger names are just a little bit older. But we're gonna go out there. This kid's pretty good, as you see, 36 million euros. Just look at all just green everywhere. High work rate on offense. Center midfielder, 24 years old, so he's kind of in his prime. So 34 million to pull him away. But as you see, Manchester United did sign Neymar. We get an offer in for Vergara, who's our center back. Chievo wants him. Who they already have Mari from us. We're gonna stall it just because we need a center back now that Alex is gone. Now that who else is gone? Zaccardo, who rarely featured, and Mexis is gone as well. So we need some backup, some cover. We probably won't play three at the back as much this year. Maybe in the Euro League we'll do it, but we're throwing out offers left and right. You see Lukaku, big name player, probably too good to be playing on Merseyside, especially on the blue side of Merseyside. So we throw out an offer for him. I know we're moving kind of fast, but Nasri, Man City says they're not interested in selling Nasri. Churchy wants a bigger role, so we're going to give him 2 years. He said he wanted squad rotation player, which I have no idea why, but we'll give him an important first team player. I mean, him and Becca will be fighting it out to see who the first team choice is. We get an offer for Luca Antonelli from Udinese, so we already sent them Jeremy Menez last year. 3.2 million. His value is 3.6. He's kind of hates it here, so we're not even going to mess around. We'll go ahead and just accept that offer. We will still stall out on Vergara. We just not sure of what to do with him. He's actually a pretty decent player. Good size, got good potential, but he's just buried on the depth chart. Maybe if he goes to Chievo, we'll get a little bit more room. But as you can see, we did get Mkhitaryan to agree or Dortmund to agree, but once again, he is proving to be difficult when it comes to negotiations. So we will have to play this game again. So we're starting out. He wanted 130. We'll say fuck it. We'll give him 150. I mean, we've got the money. He'll be a crucial first team player, one of the first names on the sheet. Might even be a number 10 for us. But Torino, they did accept our offer for Barreca. Everton came back and said that offer for Lukaku wasn't good enough. 30 million, about 14, 15 million underneath his valuation. So we'll go ahead. We'll bump that up. We'll bump it up to about 38 and see what they say. We're not dying for a striker. I mean, we've got some cover. We'll probably play 4-3-3 this year, so we've got Churchy, we've got Bacca. Hopefully, once Churchy signs, and then we've even got Niang. We've got a couple of youngsters too. So we're not as deep as we were last year. I think last year we were probably too deep when it came to striker. But as you see, Churchy did accept his deal, so we'll go ahead and we'll accept it. Like I said in a couple of episodes prior to this, he was our first priority, believe it or not. I mean, he just played so well for us down the stretch. To offer him or not offer him a deal would just be crazy. But we did go ahead and we did loan that kid out to Chievo. We did sell Antonelli. We tried to. We actually went after Lacazette. They wanted 57 million for us. As you can see, we did rack up a couple extra dollars from some of the leagues or some of the preseason tournaments. I won't go through them all in detail, but I'll probably just upload a few of the highlights. We did fairly well in that tournament to avoid any spoilers. But um, we're trying to look for ways to strengthen the squad. We definitely need a center back, so we're gonna make another offer for Aymeric Laporte, who can also play. He can also play a little bit of left back. I've seen him play that for Bilbao. I had him in my Bilbao 14 career mode. He wasn't as highly rated as he is now, although the potential for him back then was pretty good. I mean, you hear rumblings about him going to Barcelona and things like that. So, he's definitely FIFA and folks at EA have definitely recognized that and upped the ante for him. But, we're going to go after Zuma again, young athletic player. Maybe he's a little bit tired of waiting for John Terry to retire, and he's very reasonable. If we bring him in, we probably have some room to make a couple other moves. So, whereas Laporte would probably exhaust the majority of our transfer budget, Zuma would give us more flexibility, more room to spend. So we're gonna lock up Barreca. He's not. I mean, he's not a world beater. We're not expecting him to be that. He's just cover for DeSiglio at left back, fill in for Cups, maybe the odd Euro start in case someone gets injured. But as you can see, we did get Mkhitaryan to agree. Finally, he agreed. We went ahead and we stalled it a little bit. Only for a second, just to go through some other emails, just to see what was going on. I mean, like I said, we did get Everton to agree to that 38 million as well. You see what Lukaku wants, 4 years, 130,000, crucial first team player. So we know he thinks very highly of himself from his Chelsea days, but we're interested. I mean, he is a young, super athletic. He'd be fantastic for us on the counter. Not as good as backup, probably holding up the play. Maybe not as good in the air as backup, but as you can see, they wanted 20.5 million for Zuma. Bilbao did say they wanted 38. Laporte does want some crazy wages, 4 years, 140 for a center back. I mean, that's a lot of money. That's like David Luiz, that's Thiago Silva, that's Mats Hummels kind of cash, but he's probably worth it. I mean, he's not even in his prime, and I think he's already like an 82, 84 overall. Not the most blessed physically, but he's got great distribution from the back. And take a look at the scouting report, and we're just finding poo-poo in our scouts. I mean, we haven't seen one kid that's good enough to make it through. But like I said, I mean, Laporte he'd be a fixture, and like him and Romagnoli would probably form just a fantastic partnership moving forward. As we take a look at just another scouting report, just rejects after rejects. Oh, this kid Nicola Silvestri is not too bad, but I mean, none of these kids are good enough to even step in and even think about being called up to the first team. I kind of would like to find a goalkeeper though. The goalkeeper Milan has now, a 16-year-old kid. Can't remember his name, but it begins with a D. He's 16 years old, so he can't be in FIFA yet, I don't think. But he would just be it'd be nice to find somebody kind of to mirror him and kind of sit on the bench while Diego Lopez kind of rides out. But as you can see, Laporte, he's having some trepidation about moving. Doesn't want to leave Spain. Bilbao's been his home since he was a youngster. He's actually French, but he's on that French Basque side, so he can play for Bilbao. As you can see, our European tournament money, prize money, just keeps rolling in. So the budget it's growing. So we're flush with cash, to be honest. I don't feel like we have a lot of positions right now, especially this early in the season, where we can just outright buy somebody better. I mean, we probably could, but I kind of like where we are right now. As you can see, Sassuolo actually came in for Ruben Neves. I still had him listed for loan. He's definitely not. He'll be our second choice centered defensive mid, probably a holding mid. As you can see, Zuma, we're still in progress with him, but Neves is a youngster who's just very good technically, fundamentally. Just one of those players that he's not going to wow you with his physical stats, but just positionally, just be very solid. Strong tackle, probably better move going forward than Nigel De Jong. And with De Jong's injury history, and he's getting up there a little bit. I actually love in real life De Jong as a player. I know he's a reputation for being dirty, but he is I thought Manchester City was the best when they had him giving cover for Yaya Toure so he could go forward. But back on track, we do get an offer for Honda from Aston Villa, 7 million. We're not even going to haggle with him. Honda actually played very well in the cup games for us, and he got better. His finishing product was pretty crap, to be honest, but he's just a very very solid player overall. Very good technically, free kicks and things like that, but just not going to fit into our side. I kind of like our two deep. I actually wrote out on a piece of paper potential lineups. I was kind of getting into it and just having some, um, just wanted to figure out where everybody would play and the depth chart and things like that. And when I got down to it, Honda just was a player that just, he'd be nice to have, but he's in the last year of his deal, so we just got to get out of his contract and get off his wages and get something for him before we let him walk. But Chelsea does accept our offer for 17 million. He actually look at those wages: 4 years, 90,000. Squad rotation player. We're gonna give him in for we'll try to give him an important first team player, but I mean it just makes more financial success. Plus, I'm a huge Zuma fan, being a Chelsea fan to begin with. So we let Mari go. I think I kind of spoiled it earlier, but we do let him go to Kievo. So it'll be kind of interesting. I think we'll play Kievo a couple times this year at least in the league, maybe more in the cup. So it'd be kind of nice to play him and kind of hopefully he'll get some time there. But as you see, Zuma does accept his contract. Laporte declines his contract. So while we take a look at just some of the guys from that our scout pulled back from Germany, as you saw, Pierre Aubameyang is on there. He actually, a lot of people don't know, Milan actually gave up on him when he was a youngster. He came there for a trial, and I think he was even on the books for a little while. They said he wasn't good enough. He went back to France, Saint Etienne, played very well there, ended up transferring to Dortmund where he just kind of blossomed and blew up. And this year, I mean, he's scoring goals in the league at the same rate as Lewandowski, yet Lewandowski's getting all the pub and publicity and things like that. But we get an offer for Paletta, who was actually out for 3 months with a torn ACL. He's 30 years old. He's actually pretty good, 80 overall, just a very solid center back. But we get a great deal for Lazio. We've got a youngster on the bench too, Ricardo Ellie, who kind of featured in some of our matches last year down the stretch, who I thought was pretty good. We got the youngster Vergara. We still got Romagnoli. So we've got some options for center back. I mean, we might be selling ourselves a little thin, so maybe we'll try to pick up another cover. But we've that's just a good deal for us. I think 30. I think he's going to start to decline physically as we just take a look at some of our youth products. And like I've mentioned before, I've kind of beaten the dead horse, but just 50s all over the board. There's 160 right there for Luca, who might develop into something. 48 overall. He's got great potential for Ricardo. Sandro is actually not too bad, but no one that would even consider getting a call up. As we take a look at our folks that are being pulled back from Belgium, and it's just reject. That kid's not too bad, so we'll let him go again. But here, this one right here is just a very interesting offer. So Giacomo Bonaventura, $24.5 million from Watford, valued at $16.5. I liked Bonaventura a lot. I thought he was very good work rate, just very solid. But that's $8 million over his valuation. That's for a player who's in a position where we play really two holding mids, and I like to have one of them as more defensive minded. So we'll go ahead and we'll counter. I don't really want to let him walk, but for that kind of money, it'd be stupid not to. As you see, we do just try to counter, but I think we just go ahead and accept this offer for Paletta. $9 million. I think they'll probably throw like maybe 7 our way in terms of the transfer kitty, but the money's piling up. Laporte just doesn't want to leave. We kind of went through that again with Mkhitaryan. Zuma accepts his offer, so he will be coming into the side. So we do, we spend 17 there. That's always good to wrap up some kind of business early with youngsters. But Watford comes back and they say, no, we're holding firm at 24.5. Mkhitaryan, shocker, declines our offer once again. Bordeaux only gives us 5.5, so they pocketed a good $4.5 million as Diego Lopez says, hey, what about our wages? With the extra money, we're gonna go ahead and we'll keep at it with Mkhitaryan. I really want to bring him in. Not only is he just technically just very solid, but he's also a high work rate guy. So I could fit him in as cover for Hakan at that cam, or I could fit him in on as one of the holding mids and just let him work. We do go in for Gertza. We like I said, we're kind of flush with cash a little bit. So we're just throwing out some offers. There's Oscar, some of the guys that we just couldn't afford in year one. Even like Coutinho, we probably could have thrown some money their way, maybe even thrown like a player in the deal to kind of sweeten it. But we're not desperate for these guys, but we're kind of just testing the market, seeing what's out there. Seeing how some of these kids, seeing how they respond, or some of these clubs respond to some of our offers. But this kid right here, I mean, look at those stats. I mean, just green everywhere except for finishing. I mean, you put him in your midfield, and he is just going to be a solid buy and just a solid player for at least 3 to 4 years, prime years. I mean, he might even get better, especially if you train him up a little bit. So we'll go ahead and we'll throw in, we'll kind of throw in Montalivo and 10 million just to see what's up. Montalivo, we kind of goofed last year and we signed him to some ridiculous wages. I think 120 for 2 years. Good player, captain for us too. That kid's pretty good too. Guy for Danza, he actually played pretty well for us when we played them. Caligari, but like I was saying with Montalivo, I mean we probably shouldn't have signed him, especially given his age. We kind of gave him the lifetime achievement, the Kobe contract. And now, we're kind of trying to get him off the books. He did tear his ACL, I think, in the Roma match, the last match of the year, in the Cup. So he's been out, and I think he'll probably miss the summer as well. But, he'd be a fantastic player to fill in as his physical stats kind of decline. But he's just, moving forward, he's not the plan. But Caligari accepts our offer. Chelsea accepts our offer for Oscar for 50 million. He wants 3 years, 180 grand. Crucial, important first team player. We'll give him crucial. I mean, as good as Hakan is, I mean Oscar. He's not in Oscar's. He's not in Oscar's tier when it comes to players. Liverpool still wants crazy money for Coutinho. We even made an inquiry for Sergio Aguero from Man City. So, we're trying to get some bigger names to Milan. I mean, they are one of the most prestigious clubs in the entire world. And because of the financial troubles that the Serie A is in, things have fallen on hard times. But Bayern came back and said no, they didn't, not enough for Gertza. But like I said, we do have cash. We do have a big name. We do play in a big league. We're not offering Champions Club football, but finally, Mkhitaryan accepts our deal. 3 years, 150,000. We go ahead and we accept that right away. We've been after him for almost a year now. And Dortmund actually finished runners up last year. They lost in the Champions League final in this, so it'd be nice to get him on our squad. And Aubameyang, he's been complaining since last year. Major contract problem. He wanted a bigger wage. We offered him a bigger wage. He turned it down. I guess he wanted a bigger role. So I don't know what the hell is up with him, but we'll offer him. The board puts him on the transfer list. We'll see what we can get for him. I'd hate to sell him because he's just he's so athletic. He's just he can run. He's got pace. He's got decent strength. We're going for Thiago as well. I love Thiago. Watching him. I'm probably only person probably higher on Thiago than me is probably Pep Guardiola, but just fantastic on the ball, just tricks. Only downside with Thiago is just he's just so injury prone. He's just a little fragile, but he'd be a nice player also to stick with Mkhitaryan if we wanted to go really offensive. But like I said, I guess the idea is kind of better to have good players and stick them in, and then figure out what you can do with them. As we take a look at the side, and this is probably the formation that we're going to roll with. So 3 at the top, 1 right behind, and Hakan, 2 holding mids, and then 4 at the back to get good width, especially when we've got DeSiglio, although he's more of a right back than he is a left back, but just good pace, and then Abate on the other side who's just his pace to burn. So we might have to bring in. We've got a kid named Calabria on the bench as cover for Abate. He's actually not rated high at all, but he's pretty good when he's played. He's actually been pretty well. I think we loaned him out last year because we were kind of favoring the 3 at the back, but Maybe we try to bring in Jordan Lukaku, Romelo's younger brother, to kind of entice him to say, hey, look, man, kind of like what Chelsea did with Eden and Thorgan Hazard, and say, hey, we'll bring the entire family to Milan if you come to us. But we let Masali go to Livorno, Serie B squad. He's a kid that just probably won't ever make it into our first team. But Oscar accepts his deal. Unfortunately, because we purchased Mkhitaryan, I just don't think we have the money to bring him in. Um, Even if we did, it would be kind of tough. I mean, Hakan, to be honest, was kind of a disappointment in the second half of last year. Uh, he had flashes, but his finishing boots just left so much to be desired. So we've been trying to train him up a little bit when it comes to finishing. But I'm not ready to give up on him. He's got good pace. He's strong. He's pretty good on the ball. Hard to push off. He's quick. He can pass. He's great on free kicks. Although I didn't bang one in, but I think I hit a couple off the post. Um, and so, hopefully we can get him off the snide and kind of get him playing up to his potential before we, decide to make a move. Because, I mean, if he doesn't work out, like I said, we do have options. We do have a little bit of money. There are a lot of cams that are out there that we can stick in his position that'll be pretty good. But, we'll stick with him. We're not going to give up on him. I think he's definitely going to improve just based on just natural progression and playing time. But we'll see. But as you can see, we try to throw Montalivo in for Goetze. We're just trying to get him off the books, and kind of trying to test to see what Bayern, are they willing to give up Goetze? He did make some rumblings this summer in real life about saying Juventus is also a big club, so of course he was immediately linked to Juventus. But we'll kind of we're testing the market, seeing what's out there. Thiago declines his contract offer. We get some more scouting reports back from some kids. We were scouting left backs to kind of bring in as cover before we signed that Baraka kid. I didn't adjust the scouting thing still, but just take a look at Oscar. I don't think we can afford him. If we accept it, we're $3 million in the hole. I mean, we could probably go back to the board and ask for more money and raise our expectations, but our expectations are already pretty crazy. I think they want us to win the league, win the Euro League, or Europa League, and then get to the title of the last of the cup. So they're expecting big things, and what can you expect? I mean, it is Milan. They are a club with good history. So, we'll wrap this one up. It's been one of our longer ones, and then hopefully after this we'll start getting into some more of the games. Maybe the Supercopa, I think, versus Lazio. So looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.